Have you noticed everyone's exhausted, moody, and running on caffeine, yet somehow everyone's still broke and drowning in debt? It means exhaustion isn't the sign of progress anymore. Someone posts a 5-second clip and makes more money than you did all month. You're not lazy. You're just playing by rules that no longer matter. Hard work used to win. Now it just keeps you busy while others play smarter. The world shifted from effort to attention, and most people never got the memo. Chapter 1. The Outdated Blueprint. We grew up on a promise that if you work hard, stay disciplined, and outlast everyone else, success will eventually find you. That was the dream our parents sold us. The school system trained us for it. The culture glorified it. But here's the uncomfortable truth. That blueprint is expired. The world changed quietly while everyone was busy grinding. The internet flipped the entire economy upside down. Automation replaced repetition. Attention replaced effort. And the people who understood that shift started playing a completely different game. Most of us are still trying to win using rules that no longer matter. We wake up early, stay up late, run on caffeine and guilt, but somehow we're still behind. It's not because we're not working hard enough. It's because we're working by instructions written for a world that doesn't exist anymore. Once upon a time, working longer hours meant more output, more progress, more opportunity. Now it just means more burnout. Because the modern world doesn't reward exhaustion. It rewards leverage. It rewards those who know how to turn one idea into 1,000 results, one moment of visibility into lasting influence. Think about it. Someone uploads a 5-second clip and makes more than a person who's been grinding for years. That's not luck. It's leverage. That's not unfair. It's evolution. The new economy doesn't pay you for how much time you give. It pays you for how much attention you hold. But we've been trained to believe pain equals progress. So when things don't work, we double down. More hours, more stress, more coffee. We climb faster without realizing the ladder's leaning against the wrong wall. That's why so many people today are burnt out but broke. They're not lazy. They're just following an outdated map in a city that's already been rebuilt. The truth is, the future doesn't belong to the hardest worker in the room. It belongs to the one who dares to step back and ask, why am I working this way? Because sometimes, the smartest move isn't to push harder, it's to pause, observe, and pivot. The game has changed. But most people are still chasing instructions that expired decades ago. Chapter 2. The Hustle Hypnosis. Somewhere along the line, hard work stopped being a virtue and became a drug. We got addicted to the grind because it made us feel in control. Because when life feels uncertain, working harder feels like the cure. But here's the truth. Most people aren't working hard because they're chasing success. They're working hard because they're terrified of stopping. You ever notice how uncomfortable silence feels when you finally rest? That voice in your head that whispers, you should be doing something. That's not ambition. That's fear disguised as productivity. We learn to equate busyness with worth. If you're exhausted, you must be doing something right. If you're overwhelmed, you must be on the right path. We even brag about it. I barely sleep. I'm always grinding. I never take breaks. We don't say it for pride. We say it for permission, because rest now feels like guilt. But the truth is, the grind culture we worship isn't about growth. It's about distraction. It keeps you too busy to notice you're running in circles. It convinces you that stress equals significance. And that's why so many people work harder every year, but feel emptier every month. We've mistaken movement for momentum, noise for progress, and exhaustion for achievement. But working harder on the wrong path doesn't get you closer to freedom. It just makes the cage look busier. You can be productive and still be lost. You can achieve everything they told you to chase, the title, the job, the paycheck, and still feel a quiet sense of, this can't be it. Because deep down, you know effort without direction is just chaos in disguise. The irony is the people who seem lazy, the ones who stop, think, and question, are often the ones who break free first. They pause long enough to see the pattern everyone else is trapped in. They realize the real flex isn't how much you do, it's how well you understand why you're doing it. So if you're tired all the time but still not fulfilled, it's not a sign that you're failing. It's a sign that your soul is rejecting the wrong definition of success. Maybe you're not meant to grind harder. Maybe you're meant to wake up. Chapter 3. The New Way Forward. At some point, you have to ask the hardest question of all. What if hard work isn't the problem? What if it's what you're working on? Because effort isn't evil. Misalignment is. Working hard on the wrong thing feels like drowning. The more you kick, the deeper you sink. But when your work matches your truth, the same effort becomes flow. So let's get brutally honest. You can't keep trading your mental health for money and calling it ambition. You can't keep chasing approval from people who are just as lost as you. And you can't keep trying to win a game you secretly hate playing. The solution starts small, not with a grand plan, but with awareness. Step 1. Pause. Not the lazy kind of pause, the conscious kind. Give yourself permission to stop sprinting long enough to ask, what's actually making me tired? Most of the time, it's not the work itself. It's the pretending, the pleasing, the performing. Step 2. Simplify. The world made you believe you need 10 goals, 5 hustles, 3 side projects. You don't. You need one direction that feels honest. Cut the noise. Clarity is the new productivity. Step 3. Leverage your uniqueness. The future doesn't reward the loudest worker. It rewards the most original thinker. Stop copying other people's grind and start amplifying what only you can do. Maybe that's your humor. Maybe it's your ability to teach, to create, to connect. Whatever it is, build around it. That's leverage. That's how 5 seconds of truth can outshine years of empty effort. Step 4. Protect your energy like it's currency. Because it is. Every decision, every scroll, every argument drains your mental battery. If your energy is scattered, your genius never gets a chance to show up. Start treating rest, reflection, and boundaries as part of the strategy, not a reward after it. The truth is, the world doesn't need more exhausted people pretending to be machines. It needs awake ones, people who know how to work with purpose, not panic. When you align direction with discipline, something beautiful happens. Work stops feeling like survival and starts feeling like creation. That's the shift. That's the way forward. Because you were never meant to just work hard. You were meant to work right. Chapter 4. Redefining success. For years, we've been chasing a version of success that never actually belonged to us. It was handed down through schools, families, and social feeds, a checklist of what a worthy life should look like. The job title, the income, the car, the constant motion that screams, look, I'm doing something with my life. But no one warned us what happens when you actually catch it. Because what if you climb the whole mountain, only to realize it was never yours to climb? That's the quiet tragedy no one talks about. You get everything they said would make you happy. Yet something inside still feels unfinished. You keep moving, hoping momentum will silence the emptiness. But that feeling doesn't go away because it's not exhaustion you're battling, it's misalignment. See, success used to be about achievement. Now it's about alignment. It's not how much you earn, it's how much peace you can keep while you earn it. It's not how busy you are, it's how free you feel. And I know peace sounds boring to a generation raised on adrenaline and ambition. But here's the thing, peace isn't passive. Peace is power. It's what happens when your values finally match your actions. When you stop performing and start being. When your goals don't come from fear, they come from truth. So maybe success isn't about building a life that impresses others. Maybe it's about creating one that doesn't need escaping from. To do that, you have to unlearn what the world taught you about worth. You have to detach from the applause. You have to stop measuring your value in hours, likes, and numbers, and start measuring it in calm mornings, meaningful conversations, and moments of real presence. Because you can't hate the way you live and expect to love where it takes you. You can't call yourself free while being chained to validation. The new success isn't loud. It's quiet. It's not about how much you're seen. It's about how at peace you feel when nobody's watching. And maybe that's the most radical thing you can do in a world addicted to noise, to live so intentionally that peace becomes your new flex. Chapter 5. Building a life that feeds you back. Here's the truth no one tells you. Peace and ambition were never enemies. They only became opposites because we were taught to chase one and neglect the other. We were told to sacrifice joy now for success later. But later keeps moving. You blink, and 10 years are gone, and you realize you built a life that looks good, but doesn't feel good. It's time to flip the script. The goal isn't to escape work, it's to build a life that feeds you back. One where your ambition doesn't drain your soul, it recharges it. How? Start with rhythm, not routine. Routine says, do more. Rhythm says, move in harmony. You don't need to grind every day. You need to flow every day. Work when you're inspired. Rest when your energy dips. Don't fight your natural pace, master it. Then protect your mornings like sacred ground. The first hour of your day is the steering wheel for your entire mood. Before you touch your phone, touch your mind. Journal, stretch, sit in silence. Even 5 minutes of peace in the morning can turn chaos into clarity. Next, align your output with your essence. If what you're doing daily doesn't express who you are, no paycheck can fill that emptiness. Your purpose doesn't have to be loud, it just has to be honest. It could be creating, teaching, helping, leading, designing, whatever makes you lose track of time, that's your compass. And don't forget boundaries, not to shut people out, but to protect what keeps you sane. You can't save the world if you're constantly rescuing distractions. Say no without guilt. Your peace is not negotiable. Finally, redefine productivity. Real productivity isn't about doing more. It's about doing what actually matters. Some days, the most productive thing you can do is rest, reflect, and reset your energy. Because the person who works with peace in their heart moves further than the one sprinting on fumes. You're not here just to survive your work. You're here to evolve through it, to build a rhythm that honors both your fire and your stillness. Because peace was never the opposite of progress. It was the foundation of it all along. Chapter 6, The Shift Within. Here's the part nobody prepares you for. The hardest work you'll ever do isn't physical. It's internal. It's breaking the habits that made you tired but never fulfilled. It's unlearning the belief that rest equals laziness and silence equals falling behind. You see, transformation doesn't start when you hustle harder. It starts when you start telling yourself the truth. The truth that your worth isn't tied to your output, that your value doesn't disappear when you stop performing. And that slowing down doesn't mean you're giving up. It means you're finally waking up. But here's the challenge. It's easy to understand this in theory. It's hard to live it in real life, when bills pile up, when comparison screams louder, when your mind feels like a battlefield between I want peace and I can't afford to stop. That's where the real strength is built, not in working more, but in thinking differently. If you've been feeling that pull, that quiet voice saying, there has to be more than this, listen to it. That voice isn't weakness, it's wisdom. It's the part of you that remembers what peace used to feel like before the noise. And that's why I created the Wise Joe ebook, The Art of Unlearning. It's not just words, it's a manual for rewiring the way you think, work, and live. It teaches you how to detach from burnout thinking, build real inner calm, and still stay wildly ambitious. Because success doesn't mean speed anymore, it means alignment. And the sooner you master that, the sooner life stops feeling like a chase and starts feeling like creation. You don't need more motivation, you need clarity. You don't need another grind, you need a new lens. And that's exactly what this journey is about. Learning to live on your own terms, not the world's. The shift within is where everything begins. Because once your mind wakes up, the hustle finally starts working for you, not against you. Chapter 7, The War for Your Focus. We used to think our biggest battle was time, but it's not. It's attention, because in this new world, everyone is fighting to control what you think, what you want, and how you feel, one scroll at a time. Your mind is the new battlefield, and the algorithm is the quiet general, whispering you into comparison, distraction, and self-doubt. It doesn't care about your dreams. It cares about your data. And every moment you give it is a little piece of your focus, your creativity, your peace. That's why you can work all day, scroll all night, and still feel empty. It's not just exhaustion, it's mental fragmentation. You're constantly switched on but never truly present. Your body's in 2025, but your mind is split between 10 different versions of you online. Here's the truth. You can't build a strong life with a scattered mind. Focus isn't just discipline. It's protection. It's saying, no, my energy is sacred. It's choosing not to let every notification rewrite your mood. Start small. Reclaim your mornings before the world invades them. Don't wake up and check who's ahead of you. Wake up and check who you're becoming. Before you scroll, sit in silence for a minute. Remind yourself, I'm not falling behind. I'm just learning to move intentionally. Comparison is a trap that kills gratitude. It makes you chase lives that don't even fit your soul. You start measuring your worth with someone else's timeline, and that's how peace dies quietly. The cure isn't deleting everything, and it's disengaging emotionally. It's training your brain to consume without comparing, to observe without absorbing. And slowly, the noise fades. Your mind starts breathing again. Ideas return, confidence grows, because focus isn't found, it's taken back. When you protect your attention, you take back your power. Because in a world addicted to noise, silence is your rebellion. And the most dangerous person today isn't the loudest one. It's the one who can think clearly. Chapter 8, Emotional Endurance. Everyone talks about being strong, but nobody explains what that really means. Real strength isn't about pretending you're fine when you're breaking inside. It's about facing chaos without letting it rewrite who you are. Because life will test you, people will disappoint you, plans will collapse, and in those moments, your emotional control becomes your greatest currency. Most people think endurance means suppressing emotions. It doesn't. It means learning how to feel them without becoming them. It means letting pain visit, but not letting it unpack and move in. You don't need to fight every emotion. You need to witness them calmly, curiously, compassionately. Start by building emotional muscle the same way you build physical strength, through repetition. When something upsets you, pause before reacting. Take one deep breath before replying. Every pause is a push-up for your inner peace. And over time, that calm becomes unshakable. Next, learn to anchor yourself. Create small rituals that remind you of who you are when everything feels uncertain. It could be journaling, walking, music, prayer, anything that grounds your nervous system back to center. Because stability isn't something you find in the world. It's something you build inside yourself. And remember this, emotional endurance isn't coldness. It's clarity. It's knowing the difference between what deserves your energy and what just wants to drain it. It's realizing that not every storm requires a reaction. Some only need your silence. So when life gets loud, don't match its chaos. Lower your volume. Breathe slower. Respond softer. That's how you win. Because anyone can look strong when things are easy. But true strength is staying kind, focused, and grounded. Even when the world tries to pull you apart. That's emotional endurance. That's what keeps you unbreakable in a time designed to break your peace. Chapter 9. Rebuilding Self-Trust. You can't build a peaceful life if you keep breaking promises to yourself. And that's what most people do. Not because they're weak, but because they stopped believing their own words. Every time you say you'll start tomorrow and don't, a tiny part of your self-trust fades. Every time you stay in situations that drain you, you teach your mind that your feelings don't matter. And over time, the gap between who you are and who you pretend to be becomes unbearable. That's why you doubt yourself, even when you know what to do. It's not lack of clarity. It's lack of credibility. Your brain stopped taking you seriously. But the beautiful thing about self-trust is that it can be rebuilt. Quietly, slowly, one honest act at a time. You don't need massive wins. You need small, consistent proof that your word means something again. Start small. If you tell yourself you'll drink water in the morning, do it. If you promise to rest after work, rest. If you decide to stop over-explaining yourself, stop. Every kept promise is a brick in the foundation of inner strength. Then, forgive the version of you who broke them before. You weren't lazy. You were scared, distracted, or simply surviving. Stop judging yourself for the times you fell. Healing begins when honesty replaces guilt. Next, learn to follow your intuition again. That quiet gut feeling that you've been ignoring, it's not random. It's wisdom. It's the part of you that still remembers what alignment feels like. Trust it again, even in small choices, because intuition is your inner GPS, the one that always knows the difference between noise and truth. And when you start trusting yourself again, the world starts trusting you too. You stop chasing validation. You stop begging for signs. You just know. And that knowing and that calm confidence becomes your compass in a world full of chaos. Self-trust doesn't come from perfection. It comes from consistency. Keep your word to yourself long enough, and your doubt will have no choice but to disappear. Chapter 10. Peaceful Ambition. We were taught that ambition means chaos. Long nights, no balance, constant pressure. But real ambition doesn't have to burn you alive to prove it's real. True ambition isn't loud. It's calm. It's the quiet fire that grows stronger the more peace you have inside. You see, peace isn't the absence of movement. It's the absence of panic. It's what happens when your drive finally stops coming from fear, when you're not chasing goals to prove your worth, but to express it. Most people are running not because they love the race, but because they're scared to stop. They're fueled by insecurity, not inspiration. That's why no matter what they achieve, it never feels like enough. The trophy changes, but the shift begins when you stop chasing from desperation and start creating from alignment. When you work because you want to expand, not escape. That's peaceful ambition. It's power without anxiety, focus without force, growth without guilt. To build it, you must stop romanticizing the struggle. Pain isn't proof you're working hard, it's proof you're resisting flow. Greatness doesn't come from tension, it comes from clarity. The more aligned you are, the more effortless progress feels. The best ideas come when you're calm. The best decisions come when you're grounded. And the best results come when you stop trying to control every outcome. Peaceful ambition is about trust. Trusting your process, your timing, your instincts. You no longer need to rush to keep up or prove your worth. You move with quiet certainty, knowing what's meant for you can't pass you by. And ironically, that's when you become unstoppable. Not because you're moving faster, but because you've stopped fighting yourself. Peace becomes your strategy. Stillness becomes your secret weapon. And ambition finally feels like freedom, not survival. Because the goal isn't to outwork everyone. It's to outgrow the version of you that believed chaos was the only way to win. Chapter 11. Guarding your peace. The hardest part isn't finding peace, it's keeping it. Because once you start healing, the world will test you. People will still drain, systems will still demand, chaos will still knock. Just to see if you've really changed. Peace isn't built in silence. It's tested in noise. Anyone can feel calm when life is soft, but real peace is staying grounded when the noise rises, when deadlines press, when people disappoint, when plans fall apart and you still whisper, "I'm okay." That's what makes peace powerful. It's not fragile, it's armor. But to keep it, you have to learn to protect it intentionally. First rule, not everything deserves your reaction. Energy is expensive. If you spend it arguing with everyone who misunderstands you, you'll stay broke in spirit. Sometimes silence is not weakness, it's strategy. You're not required to explain your peace as to anyone who profits from your chaos. Second rule, audit your environment. Your peace is shaped by proximity, what you scroll, who you text, where you spend your hours. Protect your input if you care about your output. If being around someone always drains you, that's data. Your energy doesn't lie, listen to it. Third rule, be unavailable sometimes. Unreachable doesn't mean unkind. It means you value your sanity more than your notifications. The world teaches urgency. Peace teaches discernment. Not everything is a fire that needs your hands. And finally, forgive quickly, release quietly, and move lightly. Don't let bitterness rent space in your heart. You can't walk toward peace while dragging resentment behind you. Protecting your peace isn't selfish. It's self-respect. It's saying, my calm matters. Because the truth is, when your inner world is steady, the outer world loses its power to shake you. You stop reacting and start responding. You stop fighting everything and start flowing through it. That's when peace becomes your baseline, not your vacation. And from that place, nothing and no one can pull you out of alignment. Chapter 12, the new definition of winning. Maybe the truth was never that we worked too little. Maybe it's that we worked without meaning. We chased validation instead of vision. We ran fast, but never asked where we were going. And that's why exhaustion became our identity, because running felt safer than reflecting. But what if success isn't about speed anymore? What if it's about stillness? The kind of quiet that lets you hear your real voice again. The world told you to climb every ladder, but nobody told you that some ladders lead nowhere. You were taught to collect achievements, not alignment, to chase applause instead of peace. And that's why so many people are loud online, but silent inside. But here's your turning point. The moment you stop confusing motion with meaning. Because from here on, you work different, you move different, you live different. You don't chase hustle, you chase harmony. You don't work to prove, you work to express. You don't burn out for approval, you build for purpose. You start realizing that the goal isn't to escape the world, it's to master your place in it, to build success that feels good internally, not just looks good externally. To wake up every day with energy that's clean, not fueled by anxiety, but by clarity. And that's when everything shifts. You stop seeking permission. You stop waiting for the world to validate your worth. Because you already know, peace is the new power, and awareness is the new hustle. The real flex isn't how tired you are. It's how aligned you are. It's walking into every day knowing you're not behind, not broken, not late, just exactly where you're meant to be, learning what you need to learn next. So from this moment on, stop glorifying exhaustion. Stop apologizing for rest. Stop mistaking busyness for importance. Work hard, yes, but work with heart, work with presence, work with peace. Because in this new world, the strongest ones aren't the ones who never stop grinding. They're the ones who finally learned how to stop, breathe, and move forward awake.